The alarm clock that knows your soul. Good morning, Sarah. It is October 14th, 2050. Your cortisol levels peaked 6 minutes ago, indicating optimal waking state. Your biological age is holding steady at 34, though chronologically, you are 58 today. Happy birthday. You open your eyes. You don't look for your smartphone. Smartphones became obsolete 15 years ago. Instead, the window glass of your bedroom slowly shifts from pitch-black insulation to a transparent panorama. You look out at the skyline of Manhattan. It doesn't look like the concrete jungle of the 2020s. The skyscrapers are wrapped in living, breathing bioskin, genetically engineered moss and algae that actively suck carbon dioxide from the air. Vertical farms stretch thousands of feet into the sky, glowing with automated UV lights. Below, on the streets, there are no traffic jams, no honking horns, and no exhaust fumes. Millions of autonomous electric pods glide silently on magnetic tracks, coordinated by a central quantum network that eliminates human error entirely. This isn't a scene from a Hollywood sci-fi movie. This is the consensus reality engineered by decades of climate disruption, artificial intelligence integration, and biotechnological breakthroughs. But how did we get here? How did humanity survive the chaotic transitions of the 2030s and 2040s to reach this fragile, hyper-advanced equilibrium? To understand the world of 2050, we have to look back at the historical milestones that rewrote human civilization. This is the factual, data-driven reality of what your life, and the world, will look like just a few decades from now. The Great Energy Pivot and the Rebirth of Cities. As Sarah walks into her kitchen, her countertop automatically prints a personalized nutrient shake based on her morning biomarker scan. The energy powering her entire apartment doesn't come from a coal plant or even traditional solar panels. It comes from the sky and the sea. Back in the 2020s, the world was trapped in a seemingly endless debate about fossil fuels. But by the late 2030s, economic necessity forced the hand of global superpowers. The turning point was the solar grid convergence of 2038, when the cost of ultra-efficient perovskite solar cells dropped to practically zero. By 2050, geopolitics have completely flipped. The Middle East is no longer an oil empire, it is the world's largest exporter of solar-generated synthetic fuels and green hydrogen. Commercial nuclear fusion, after nearly a century of being 30 years away, finally became operational in 2042. Massive fusion reactors now provide baseline power to hyperdense megacities, churning out clean energy with zero radioactive waste. But this energy transition wasn't optional, it was a survival mechanism. Because of the carbon emissions trapped in the early 21st century, the climate of 2050 is fundamentally altered. Extreme weather is no longer called extreme, it's just the weather. Southern Europe, parts of the American Southwest, and the Middle East experience lethal heat waves for months at a time, forcing a massive architectural revolution. Cities in 2050 are built to be self-sustaining fortresses. Geodesic cooling domes cover entire commercial districts in Phoenix and Dubai. Sponge city infrastructure, pioneered by China in the 2020s, is now mandatory across the U.S. East Coast. Sidewalks are made of permeable eco-concrete that absorbs flash floods instantly, directing water into massive underground filtration aquifers. Humanity didn't stop climate change, we adapted to it by changing how we live. The post-labor economy and the rise of the synthetic mind. Sarah doesn't commute to an office. The concept of 9 to 5 office work died during the automation cascades of the 2030s. When generative AI evolved into artificial general intelligence, AGI, and eventually merged with quantum computing, white-collar jobs were revolutionized overnight. Legal contracts, medical diagnostics, corporate strategy, and software engineering are now handled almost entirely by autonomous synthetic entities. So, what do humans do in 2050? They manage the AI, focus on creative philosophy, and work in high-empathy human care sectors. The global economy operates under a system known as the abundance paradigm. Because AI and robotic automation dropped the cost of producing food, healthcare, and energy by 90%, the traditional relationship between labor and survival was broken. Most developed nations, including the United States, now operate under a version of Universal Basic Assets, UBA. Providing housing, healthcare, and computational power to every citizen as a baseline right. Let's look at the physical world of labor. If you walk past a construction site in 2050, you won't see dozens of men with hard hats. You will see a swarm of semi-autonomous drones and robotic quadrupeds 3D printing a 50-story building using carbon-negative graphene composites. The global supply chain is entirely silent and invisible. Hyperloop networks subterraneanly move cargo across continents at near supersonic speeds. Autonomous container ships, powered by rigid solar sails and automated hydrogen turbines, cross the Atlantic without a single human crew member on board. The greatest challenge of 2050 is not economic scarcity. It is existential purpose. In a world where machines can do everything better, faster, and cheaper, humanity's primary occupation has become the search for meaning. The biotech revolution and the post-biological human. Sarah looks in the mirror. She is chronologically nearly 60 years old, but her skin, muscle density, and neurological processing speed are identical to when she was in her early 30s. This is the crowning achievement of 2050, the death of aging. In the late 2020s, scientists viewed aging as an inevitable law of nature. By 2040, it was reclassified as a treatable disease. Thanks to CRISPR gene drive 3. Zero and cellular rejuvenation therapies, humanity learned how to systematically reset the epigenetic clock inside human cells. Every 6 months, Sarah receives a personalized dose of nanobots and mRNA therapeutics that target and eliminate senescent, zombie, cells, repair DNA transcription errors, and clear plaque from her cardiovascular system. The average life expectancy in developed nations has surged past 105, and the concept of retirement has been replaced by life cycles. You might spend 20 years as an artist, 30 years as a deep space engineer, and another 20 years studying ancient philosophy. But biology is no longer limited to what evolution gave us. Sarah blinks twice to activate her neuroocular interface. Her retinas are embedded with a microscopic layer of organic LEDs. Instantly, an augmented reality overlay projects data directly onto her field of vision. She doesn't need to type a search query. A non-invasive neural lace sitting behind her ear translates her silent mental intent into digital commands. The biodivide, this technology has created a profound philosophical split in society. In 2050, humanity is divided into the biological purists, who refuse genetic and cybernetic alterations, and the augmenteds, who believe that merging with technology is the only way to avoid being left behind by artificial intelligence. Healthcare is entirely preventive. The idea of getting a late-stage disease like cancer is a historical artifact. Smart toilets and wearable biopatches screen your DNA and protein expressions daily. If a single cancerous cell develops anywhere in Sarah's body, her medical AI deploys targeted synthetic T-cells to destroy it before she even finishes her morning coffee. The geopolitical map rewritten. The global map of 2050 would be unrecognizable to someone from the early 2000s. The traditional nation-state is facing intense pressure from two opposing forces, global digital networks and local hyper-automated eco-communes. Because of rising sea levels, the geography of coastal regions has shifted. Major parts of Miami, Amsterdam, and Jakarta are now floating aquatic districts, engineered with modular, buoyant foundations that rise and fall with the tides. This environmental migration triggered the Great Siberian and Canadian Migration of 2041. As permafrost thawed, vast stretches of northern wilderness transformed into the world's new agricultural breadbaskets. New, hypermodern megacities emerged in northern Canada, Scandinavia, and Siberia, housing hundreds of millions of climate refugees and tech workers. Meanwhile, space is no longer the playground of government agencies. Sarah looks up at the afternoon sky. Even during the day, if you look closely through a telescope, you can see a faint glint of light in orbit. It's the orbital industrial ring. By 2050, heavy, polluting manufacturing has been entirely banned on Earth. Automated factories have been moved into low Earth orbit. Rare earth metals and minerals are no longer mined by destroying terrestrial ecosystems. Instead, autonomous mining vessels harvest resources from near-Earth asteroids like Psyche 16, shipping raw materials down to orbital manufacturing hubs where zero-gravity physics allows for the creation of flawless metal alloys and perfect fiber-optic crystals. Humanity has also established its first permanent, self-sustaining scientific colonies on Mars and the Moon, connected to Earth via a continuous network of automated laser communications. The choice before us. As the sun sets over the green, living spires of Manhattan, Sarah looks out at a world that is breathtakingly beautiful, astonishingly advanced, yet profoundly fragile. The year 2050 is not a utopia. It is a world that survived by the skin of its teeth. It is a world that had to lose old industries, endure severe environmental crises, and completely redefine what it means to be human just to ensure there was a tomorrow. The lesson of 2050 is that the future is not something that just happens to us. It is an accumulation of choices made decades prior. Every investment in clean energy, every ethical boundary set for artificial intelligence, and every breakthrough in medicine made today is the foundation of the world Sarah wakes up in. We are currently living in the most critical window in human history. The era that decides whether we stumble into a dystopian collapse or build the resilient, interstellar civilization of 2050. The future is waiting. And it looks more astonishing than you can possibly imagine.